I've been down there many, many times. You know, I've been at below rock bottom. I started the first nylon and Velcro surfer wallet business. And I was in my 30s. Business went straight up and went down below zero. You know, how can you lose more money? Investor money. So I was down $800,000 at 32 years old. And my poor dad was a great guy. He's a school teacher, head of education for the state of Hawaii. And my poor dad felt sorry for me. And my rich dad says, hey, congratulations, you lost your first business. See, it's in the mindset. He says most entrepreneurs will lose 3 businesses. So rather than run and declare bankruptcy, he says, look, go talk to all your investors, tell them you messed up, you know? Tell them you're going to work it out, you're going to pay them back, and go fix that business of yours. So rather than run and hide like some of my partners did, this is in Hawaii where I started the Velcro wallet business. I had to go back in and kind of find out most of the mistakes I made. And then when I could pay people back, because the business was up and running, then I started to pay people back from the successful operation. So I learned more from failing than I did in all my years of school. So that was really good. And then I took my little nylon wallet company out of the surfer market and I took it into rock and roll, of all things. So then I learned how another whole end of entrepreneurship, and that's what paid off my $800,000 in debt. So I always look at failure as an opportunity to learn and get bigger. Unfortunately, our school system teaches kids that if you make mistakes, you're stupid. And in real life, the people that make the most mistakes are the smartest people. Guys that make the most mistakes in life win, except in school, because you get punished for making mistakes. So it's just in your mindset. And so when I lost my first company, it was great. I lived on the street, I was homeless, got yelled at a lot by my investors. It was building self-esteem, I said, I'll pay you back. You trusted me, I messed up, but I'll pay you back. And it was that spirit, it's called the entrepreneur spirit. I rebuilt the company, took it out of surfing and took it into rock and roll, and we pulled it out of bankruptcy. I never declared bankruptcy, but I paid back my investors. I still had no money, but I paid back my investors.
You wake up tomorrow morning and you're on the street and you have nothing. You don't have a single contact in your network. All you have is the knowledge and experience that you've had throughout your career. How do you build up from there?
Well, I've been there many times. So it's no big deal. You just figure out what's needed and wanted and you go do it. People always kind of dump on, fast food industry. If I had to do it again, I'd go work for McDonald's. And the reason I go work for McDonald's, whether it's $7 an hour or 15, I don't really care. I don't really like McDonald's food, but they have the best business systems in the world. How else can a company take virtually non-college educated people and build a fast food industry across the world? And they have the best system. So right inside little McDonald's, you can learn everything you need to learn about business except for the management side of it. So I just go work at McDonald's so I can learn even more. So I look at life as learning. I'm constantly learning. I'm reading constantly, studying constantly. I spend most of my time with entrepreneurs. I don't spend my time with people who complain about the economy. So nothing will really change. I just go back to being an entrepreneur. You better have a spirit that's so strong. You cannot let other people's opinions and criticisms. At that point, he started to learn. He says, I learned a lot from my last business. Let me take what I learned from my last business and put it into this business. The same as I said, I was in surfing. When my nylon business went down, I took what I learned and transferred it to rock and roll. And then I transferred it into education. So today I'm an entrepreneur in education. I teach entrepreneurship because I understand what entrepreneurship is. The trouble with most entrepreneurs are self-employed. So they quit their job And in America today, the SBA, the Small Business Administration, says there's 28 million small business owners. 28 million. 24 million are classified as non-employers. Remember, they're a one-man team. Because that's what they're taught to do in school, to be the rugged individual. The team is the hardest part of the game. You better choose your team really carefully. And that's what entrepreneurs do. They don't choose their team with any kind of precision. Now, I made that mistake. I brought on friends who thought they were entrepreneurs, and they're incompetent. They were terrible. And I was terrible also. The difference is when we failed in the first business, I went on. They went back to their jobs. There's a very big difference in mindset. So all I'm saying here is this: if you're going to understand this, study entrepreneurs. Like I studied Edison, I studied Gates, Jobs. My biggest hero of all is Jobs, Steve Jobs.
What's your philosophy when it comes to selling your product? And what does somebody growing a small business need to know?
Well, I always say the number one skill of an entrepreneur is the ability to sell or communicate. Number one. Because sales equals income. So if your sales are down, your income's down. But it's not just selling your customer, you got to sell your employees. That's really tough, And then next is selling my investors. I don't have the pleasure of being down. Entrepreneurs have got to be up. Because if you're down, your employees know it, your customers know it, the market knows it. So number one is sales. But when you look at the big picture, there's three things an entrepreneur must learn. Number one is PR. Under that is marketing. And what marketing does is like advertising. They want to set the customer up to get ready to buy. Oh yeah, I saw that Kia ad. I want to buy a Kia. I want to buy some land, I want to buy this. So the customer is now primed to buy. That's marketing's job. Then the last thing is a sale. So if you've done a really good job on PR, then you've done a great job on marketing. The sale is like that. They walk in, they buy. But if you have no PR and you have no marketing, you have to pound, hard close on, well, Mr. Customer, today's changing business environment, you should buy my insurance, And people today hate sales pitches more than ever before. So the number one sales job of a true entrepreneur is to develop your ability to get PR. And I'll say it again, most entrepreneurs are not good at sales. They're horrible at marketing. They have no idea what it is. And they can't get any PR. And so they struggle. And again, sales equals income. So they crash.